Hello, my name is Bengtsson and this is my story. I started to play football when I was very young, around 6 or something, and really from an early beginning I was getting obsessed with football. I wanted to be a professional football player in Italy. When I was 16 years old, I did my first game in Örebro, where I'm from in Sweden. The year after, in 2003, Inter contacted me and invited me to a training week in Milan. And then later I got a contract with the Primavera. After, I think it was around 4 months or something, I got a knee injury in the, I think it's called meniscus. So I had to do like a, operation. For the first time I was like lonely in the house, and people were like going to the training camp every day, and I got a lot of time on my own to think about how it was being a professional player when you were not playing football. And I realized I felt very insecure about myself when I was not playing football. I knew who I was when I had my football shoes on, but I had very hard to relate to myself as not being a football player. And that raised the question in myself about who am I? And I actually felt that I wasn't really happy about who I was. I felt more and more like I was just a robot, like producing something on the football pitch, and I somehow had lost a bit of the joy in it. And maybe I hadn't really thought about the rest or how the life would be as a football professional, because I started to find it really boring. And I started to look at it like we were just playing these games and we went to the training camp and then people went shopping or whatever, but nothing else happened around it. And I've started to feel like I wanted to express something in myself. I started to feel like I had something that I wanted to tell. And this became later a clash for me, because this was something that wasn't really accepted in the world that I was in. But I got more and more sad, but then I realized I started to think about the music and the festival and the power in that. So I decided to go buy a guitar, and it took a while because I had to ask to get the permission to get into town and get the guitar. But then after a couple of weeks I did, and it was a wonderful feeling for me. It was horrible for my teammates probably, because the guitar wasn't tuned at all. So it sounded horrible, and I had to tune the guitar with my father's ear in like the telephone. But after a while I've got the guitar like right, and started to play songs and create songs. I was listening to Nirvana a lot at the time, and David Bowie, and got very inspired by them, and like stole like small sentences and put together to my own songs. And I found that beautiful at that time, because I felt like, oh, I can both play football and I can also have the music. But then after a game with the national team of Sweden, must have been under 18 back then, I came back and my songs were gone, like my papers and my lyrics and everything, they were gone. And I also made drawings and stuff, so it was like, my room was a lot of like lyrics and songs and stuff. But this was gone, and they had thrown it away, they told me. Cleaner had thrown it away, and they said because this was not how a football player's room should look like. And that became very serious for me, because that was like claiming like I'm not supposed to do music, I'm not allowed to express myself. And I got very, very angry. And I started to feel like I can't stay here, because if I'm not allowed to do music, or if you're not allowed to express yourself or write or whatever, then it's wrong. That's how I feel. So I came into a situation where I really felt like I couldn't decide where to go, and also I was afraid of coming back to Sweden, because all you heard of in television and in newspaper were like, they came home and they wasn't mentally strong enough, or they couldn't handle the pressure or whatever. It's just these sentences as words that just flows around in the football world all the time, that they put on these young kids. And my biggest fear, because I had been in this world, was to come home as a loser, because that was the worst. That was my nightmare. So then in this depression that actually had been going on for quite a while, I think, and then I took a very dark decision of taking my life, or tried to take my life, a suicide attempt. And that's where my football career ended, I would say. I never went back to Inter after that. I was supposed to do rehab in Sweden and then try to come back, but I felt pretty quick that I couldn't do it. I didn't feel like I wanted it, and I was traumatized also by it. So after that, I was kind of low for a couple of months before I started to do like real therapy every week. And during this therapy, I really got down in myself and started to deal with stuff in me that I had carried around, and also about a lot of like words you've heard like while growing up as a football player and everything that really had affect your like self-conscious. And so it was a heavy bag that I had to like rip off and like try to deal with. And I wrote a book later. That's a part of this. I wrote a book about the experience of my life and of Inter and of growing up as a young player. And after that book, I did a lot of lectures and also got the opportunity then to actually live somewhere else and focus on the music. So I decided to move to Berlin with my guitar and to Waldemarstrasse, and I took the name Valdemar as an artist name or like persona. Yeah, I mean it's yeah. What can we explain? It's Paris and Nicky.
Yeah.
And Paris says I like Valdemar because he sings about things I can relate to.
Ah, okay.
Neverland. Neverland is my favorite. Neverland is a song by Valdemar about Berlin.
Okay.
So she really can relate to this song. And okay. Nicky Hilton, I just think he's hot.
Okay, is he hot?
He is kind of hot, right? Yeah, okay. I would say. Yeah.
Okay, Valdemar.
Without the hat, he's really hot.
Are you the Valdemar?
Yeah.
Walked around in circles, think I see it clear.
It's different life, I would say.
Well, here I am, 6 degrees of Justin's the highway. Supposed to play mine, but I'm failing. Put some liquor in the fire, I say, oh, burn it bright light. Where is my band? Need to hide now, you can tell. Need a bass and a tambourine. Need some trouble, distortion, need some fashion, cloth, and hell yeah, I need a job. It's as simple as that. What was I thinking? But I could make it at a sidewalk cafe. Oh, the space was empty when I said la 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 la. No one said back to me. This isn't fair. Fuck you, New York. I'm no school kid, you know I'm no hobby in a pawn store. The Frenchman you can hackle, I'm everything and nothing. What was I thinking? But I could make it at a sidewalk cafe. Oh, the space was empty when I said la 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. They want clean stuff, easy and digested, easy to fit in with pop drums and silicone. I say thank Lord for rock and roll. I could make it at a sidewalk cafe.